So I updated the Git book. That way you have all of the steps you need to do in order to deploy your website. First things first though, you actually need a Heroku account. And Heroku gives you, I think, like 8 free websites to host. The only downside is because it's like a free tier, your website is asleep for 8 hours a day. So if no one's like constantly visiting your website, then in order to kind of like preserve their servers, it won't like start up your website until like someone actually visits your website. So it might be a little slow, but I mean it's free, so big whoop.
Otherwise, like, how much is it for per month?
Actually not that much. It's like $8. It depends on like what you want, really, though, because depending on like how advanced your app is, we're gonna see Postgres is an add-on, and there's like different add-ons depending on like what tools you're using for your website. But we'll talk about that. Okay, so first things first, you need a Heroku account. Once you have that made, then you can look at the Git book. And the next step is you actually need to install Heroku onto your computer. So Heroku has a command line interface. And in order to install that, you just go ahead and go to your terminal. And you can type in brew install Heroku.
Can we install from anywhere?
Yeah, because this is just going to install it on your computer in general. And voila, I already have it had it installed. I just wanted to show you like what you should be seeing. So you should be seeing like Homebrew installing Heroku. And once that finishes, now you can actually log into your Heroku account in the terminal. That way we can actually like start deploying our website in the terminal. So you type in Heroku login, and then you can type in your credentials. So this is whatever you use to create your account. It's going to be your email and your password. So now it says I'm logged in. Cool. So if you guys haven't already done so, you guys should be doing it though, is using Git to keep up with all of your changes that you're making to your website. So I already have it, but Git init is what initializes an empty Git repository. So now I can actually do git add, git commit, and git push. So once you have that, then you can like run through your git add and git commit workflow. That way you can add all the changes that you made to your website. And in order to push to Heroku, we need to add Heroku as a remote. So you guys remember how we linked GitHub to our folder, our project folder?
You like to get,
Yeah. The Git remote add, and then you put in the whatever GitHub link. It's going to be the same for Heroku. So we're going to need to add it as a remote. So you type in git remote add, and then the name of it. So we're just going to call it Heroku, because that's makes sense, because it's going to be our Heroku site. And then we need to get the URL that is going to link it to our Heroku accounts. So in order to do that, we can go ahead and create a new app. And the app name, you're going to want to give it like a name that makes sense if you want, otherwise it'll automatically generate one. But this is going to be used in the URL that people are going to visit. So if I type in Dogstagram, it already exists, so Dogstagrams, and hit create app. Now if I go down, if I go to overview, oh, I guess I have to deploy first. No. If you go to settings, you can see domains and certificates, and it says your app can be found at https://dogstagram.herokuapp.com. So whatever you type in there is going to be whatever .herokuapp.com. So just type something that you're happy with. But besides that, if you click on the Deploy tab, it's going to give you instructions on how to get started. So we can literally just do git push Heroku master now that we actually have it linked here. Where's my git book? Here it is.
You have so many tabs.
I do.
How do you know what they're all are? Oh, you know, you should
I
get
don't.
one tab.
I
It's,
should.
What is that? It's like a Google. What do you call it? It's like a Google, like an extension.
Yeah.
And then you could just click on the icon on the side, and it like collapses all of your tabs you have open into one tab, and it just has like a list.
Okay, but Jen, we need to finish up. Okay, so in order to link it, if you go to settings and info, you have all of your information for your app. And you're going to see Heroku get URL. And this is going to be the URL that actually links your Heroku account to your folder. So it's get remote add Heroku and then that get URL. So now we can do git push Heroku. Get remote -v. Yeah, so that should be fine. Why don't I have access? No, that should be fine. So git push Heroku master. There we go. So now you can see like it's actually building your website. And we're just gonna let that run. So what this does, like as soon as you push your application, it's going to install all the gems, it's going to set up the environment.
Oh, just go.
Voila. Yeah. So my website is deployed. However, it's not going to work 100% yet because I still need to set up my database and set up my API environment variables. So in order to link Postgres to this website, under add-ons, you can install Postgres. So I already installed Postgres onto this website, but basically you just need to pick the free tier. Otherwise, you can pay for Postgres if you wanted to, but they do offer a free tier, which I recommend just using just because you guys aren't doing anything too advanced. So once you guys have like Postgres added on, then you can go ahead and click on that link and it'll take you here. And under administrations, you have database credentials. And when you click on view credentials, you have all of this information, but this is what we're going to want to use, the Heroku CLI. That just means command line interface. So now we can connect to our database by running our CLI command. So if we just copy this and put it in our terminal, we can connect to our database. And we can actually use SQL commands in here. So right now, if I do DT, we see that I have nothing in my database right now. Why is that? It says no relations found.
Because your data isn't synced up yet.
Exactly. I haven't seeded anything. So because all of the things that I've been doing so far have been like on my local host, it's only living in my computer. Even when I push up my code up onto Heroku, I'm not pushing any of my data that I have saved in my computer up on the web. So if you guys actually wanted to seed your database with whatever you already have in your computer, you guys can run to step 13 and you can do Heroku PG push. So PG stands for Postgres. And this is going to be the name of your database, your local database. And this is going to be the Heroku database name. So in order to find out like what your database name is on your computer, we can go to our terminal, type in pSQL. And we can type in L, so /L. And this is going to list out all of the databases that you have in your computer. So as soon as you do db create, it should have created a database for your website on your computer. And in order to get the seeded things, the seeded files, you're going to want to get the name of your Sinatra app development database. So this is going to be my database for my Dogstagram app with all my seeds in it. So I'm just going to use that in my app development name. So I can type in 222. So quit out of that. Oops. So Heroku PG push, and then my app name, and then the database name for Heroku.
Is that weird?
It's the Dogstagrams. Actually, Hold on. Is it PostgreSQL amorphous? There you go. So this is going to be the name of your database, like whatever it says here. It might be different for yours, but this is going to be your database name for Heroku. So as soon as you do this command, so your local database and then your Heroku database, it's going to run all of your database commands and create all of your tables and schemas and everything. So we can actually check to see if all of that worked. So just to verify, we can connect to our database using the CLI command. So if I copy this, paste it in there, I should be connected to my SQL database on Heroku. So now if I do DT, I see that I actually get tables back. So now tables actually exist in my website. So how can I check to make sure that I have users in my database?
DB or no.
I'm going to actually have to use SQL. Do you guys remember SQL?
Yeah, but not really.
I can use Active Record.
Yeah.
SQL.
So you guys actually have to like look up like how to
Like
use
that
SQL.
From
Yep, from
users.
Users. Then semicolon, voila, I get back my users and whatever I have in my database so far.
Yeah.
So these are my seeds that I have. Bob and Lord and A. So we got our database like officially set up. Config variables. So we can actually set up our environment variables pretty easily on Heroku. So if we go to our settings tab, we can reveal our variables, our environment variables. And whatever you're using as your like API keys, you can set them in here. And this is actually going to save on a hidden .env file on Heroku. So you guys don't have to actually like physically like push up your .env file. You can just set them up in here and it'll write to an existing .env file on Heroku.
So
So I can just like copy and paste whatever I have here as my key and value pair.
okay.
Flood secret.
And really, that is all she wrote. So now if I wanted to actually visit my website, where is it? I can just visit my URL. So right now it says not found because I don't have a root route. Bless you. But I do have a users/new. So you can see, voila, I actually have a deployed website.
Yay.
Lol's photos.
Yeah.
Lol.
Lol. So if I wanted to, I could sign in this should all work on yours as soon as you're deployed. But I mean, it's not hard. You just have to walk through just a bunch of steps. Heroku is pretty easy. So if you guys like ever have any questions, I suggest just look at the documentation. They have very good documentation, and try figuring it out yourselves. The only, I guess, cautionary warnings is just make sure that you're setting up your variables correctly. That way, like, your API calls work. And yeah, that's it. Any questions? It's pretty easy.